On this auspicious occasion of Guru Purnima, 13th July 2022, I would like to share knowledge of our ancient gurus with all of you. Our basic gurus are our class teachers, school teachers, college teachers, professors, our parents, and everyone who teaches us a lesson, good or bad, is our guru. And classical gurus are our religious texts. India is a modern name of our country. Bharat or Hindustan is a more or less older name. And our country majority is based on Vedic sciences or Vedic culture, Indus Valley culture, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, all that means old archaeological things. So roughly our culture is around 5,000 to 10,000 years old. It has Ramayana and Mahabharata, which teaches us many things. We have got 4 Vedas, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda, Samveda. We have got 108 Upanishads. Then there are so many texts, so many variations, different religions also. But all books, all religious books, all parents in this whole world, let them belong to any country, will always teach good things to their children. No parent will teach bad things to their children. So classical books are our religious books. Whatever religion you belong, if you really honestly follow your religion, you will always become a good human being. You will always become a good human being. Because all religions ask us to become good human beings. So coming back to our culture and our text, because I don't want to go into a sermon or a very heavy lecture, I want to put it in a very practical manner. What does our Guru want us, Guru or our teacher or our parents? Basically, first thing which we have to remember is, assuming that we are living for 100 years. See, this is an assumption. With all medical facilities, modern medical facilities, we rarely find people who are living up to 100 years or above 100 years. Of course, there are few countries where there are people, but worldwide, people who are living for 100 years or more are very less. Plus, biggest thing is quality of life. You may be 100-year old, but if you cannot walk, cannot see, cannot talk, you are handicapped, you are ill or bedridden, what is the point? So assuming that we are living for 100 years, means I am trying to share or simplify knowledge, our ancient knowledge, with everyone so that we can live our life properly. That is what a guru wants. So in 100 years, assuming, I am repeating, so first 25 years you will learn whatever you want to learn, first 25 years. Here I am again saying we are assuming we are living for 100 years, 100. So first 25 years we are spending, we can see nowadays, we want to learn many things. We can become engineer, doctor, lawyer, dancer, martial artist, sports person, Olympian, police officer, whatever profession or career we want to learn. Roughly first 25 years go into learning all these things. First 25 years, right? So this learning phase in our ancient culture was called as brahmacharya ashram. Brahmacharya ashram means student who is learning whatever he wants. He wants to become a chef, he wants to become even an actor, dancer, performing arts, fine arts, politician. Whatever career you want to make, you have to learn. You cannot learn all things in one day. So roughly first 25 years we are spending in learning whatever we have to learn, so that later on we can earn. I will come to the earning phase afterwards. So first 25 years is learning phase, simple. Last 25 years, assuming 100 years, so 75 to 25 age. Last 25 years we are old, we may be sick, we are slow, definitely we are not young. So we are not capable of doing many things, even as on date, with all these medical facilities. A 100-year-old person cannot perform like a 25-year-old person. That is not possible. So last 25 years we are old. More or less we are not productive in that sense. Then after this last phase, last 25 years, was called or is called as the sanyas ashram. Sanyas ashram means post-retired life, not only retired life, post-retired life. Sanyas ashram, right? After which usually you die, and then the spiritual believers say there is rebirth. I will come to that. So first 25 years learning, last 25 years we are inactive, unproductive, more or less. So usually we can see retirement age in majority of the countries is 60 or 70, depending upon your career, 60, 70 or 75. So after that a man actively retires from active life. He is retired also and tired also. Then after the first 25 years, the next 25 years means 25 to 50 is the reproductive cycle. So first 25 years you learn, next 25 years are when you earn. Whatever, you are maybe a doctor, engineer, lawyer, police officer, whatever your profession, dancer, actor, singer, anything. So you are now earning from whatever you have learned in the first 25 years. So this earning phase is usually your younger phase. In this phase usually we start practicing whatever we want to practice, start earning money. We buy a house, we car, then we get married, we have children, we fulfill our ambitions, we may purchase a big car, big house, or small car, small house, depending upon whatever we are earning, right? You may be higher class, middle class, lower class, financially, that is different. So in this second phase of 25 to 50, 25 years, again assuming we are living for 100 years. Why I am laughing, I will tell you afterwards. So in this 25 to 50, we are feeding and breeding. We have children, we reproduce, Then we help our children to get settled in their lives. So whatever our parents did for us, we do for our children. Maybe we do for our society also if we are rich enough. So this is the feeding and breeding and career fulfilling. We are fulfilling our ambitions. Buying car, whatever you want to buy, real estate, big house, big car, planning for your retirement, you are going for life insurance, property insurance, so that you are preparing for your old age. But you are active, you are earning. So in this 25 to 50, usually you are the ATM of your family. Right? You provide money, you are the breadwinner. Nowadays even women also do this breadwinning. That is really good, nothing wrong in that. So these parents as a couple, they are ATM of their children. They will help them to settle down, study, school, college, whatever so our children's learning phase we are sponsoring. Like our parents sponsored our learning phase. So we are sponsoring our children. So 25 to 50. Right? Then from 50 to 75. That is the third phase. But what is this 25 to 50 phase called? First phase was called 25 as brahmacharya ashram or student ashram. Next 25 to 50 is called as the grihastha ashram. Grihastha ashram means our practical family life, daily life, day-to-day life, breadwinning activities, feeding, breeding, feeding, breeding, supporting our children, supporting our society, supporting our old parents, taking care of them. Means in our culture we do this. We in our country usually don't send our parents to old age homes unless and until conditions are very difficult. We take care of our parents. That is the beauty of our culture. Then from 50 to 75, again I am assuming we are living for 100 years. This third phase, which is called as Vana Prasthasaram. Vana Prasthasaram means what? Now after your learning phase of first 25 years, then earning phase of next 25 years, and feeding and breeding phase and fulfilling your ambitions, etc. Now you are 50 plus. Now you are supposed to train young generation for feeding, breeding, and you are handing over, because 50 to 75 roughly, assuming that you will retire at 75, which is not practical in any country. As I said, 60 is the standard age, 70 is in some countries and 75 in some countries. So before retiring, we have to hand over. You may be owner of a small company, big company, you may be a billionaire, trillionaire, or you may be an ordinary person. But you have to hand over your duties, you have to train your children. Maybe now in this third phase of 50 to 75 age, means maybe your parents don't exist anymore. Now you are about to become old. Your children are becoming independent. Now their learning phase is over. Now they are settling down in their life. Maybe they will get married, they will reproduce. Their feeding and breeding phase will start. Their grihastha will start. Maybe we want to get them married if they allow us. Arranged marriage is becoming rare nowadays. So if our children allow us, maybe we will get them married in arranged marriage. Our daughters or sons, we will get married. And then maybe we will enjoy, they will have children. And then we will enjoy with our grandchildren. So this enjoyment life with our grandchildren indicates that our children have settled. And now we are in the Vana Prasthasaram phase. And now that our children are settled more or less, and their children are going in school, so usually we are handing over, and now our services are no longer required to our family, friends, relatives and society, because now we are old also, and more or less about to retire also. And we will become inactive, because with age health problems comes, whether we like it or not. Old age is natural. So different problems will come. Sometimes minor problems, sometimes major problems, sometimes serious problems. But of course we have got insurance for all that, so that we are not a burden on our children, on ourselves, on our society also. Right? Now the darker part of this whole thing is, first 25 years is brahmacharya ashram, next 25 years is grihastha ashram, again 25 years is Vana Prasthasaram, and post retired life is sanyas ashram, in which you are supposed to, the last 25 years, 75 to 100, 75 to 100 age, you are supposed to do spiritual activities, because anyways you are not capable physically of doing anything else. You are supposed to think about philosophy, why you are born, what you did for the society, whether rebirth is there or not, what are the mistakes in your life. You are supposed to think, meditate, so that before dying you should not regret, and you should rest in peace in the real sense. So roughly this is the life cycle of human beings, as you can see. But the reality is, do we really live for 100 years despite all the medical facilities? Maybe you are a fitness freak, you are taking care of yourself, you are eating good, fit, means you are not drinking, not smoking, you are living a healthy lifestyle, which is very rare. You have got no stress. So more or less you say you are in heaven. Only then it is possible that you can live for 100 years. But sadly, we don't live for 100 years even today. Very few people. You look around and you will see that 100-year-old or 90-year-old persons around us are rare. Means it's not that they are available in lot. Number is less. So this is a ideal thinking. But luckily, our ancestors were aware of this, and they wanted a fair play. Fair play means everyone should get food, clothing and shelter, breeding and breeding, everyone's ambitions should be fulfilled. Everyone should get a chance, because if no one retires, then how can we get jobs, young people get job? It is, luckily it is good that one fine day everyone dies, and we cannot take our food, clothing and shelter with us to heaven. Otherwise no parent would have given anything in hierarchy to their sons and daughters. So ancestral hierarchy would become zero, and every generation would have to fight for their food, clothing and shelter. So luckily after that everything remains here only. We come empty handed, we go empty handed. That is God's grace. So we keep an ancestry hierarchy and we hand it down to our children. So assuming that we cannot live for 100 years, and our ancestors wanted a fair play, so that everyone gets a chance to learn, earn, then make food, clothing and shelter, get married, feed and breed, have children. So everyone has a right for feeding and breeding. Food, clothing and shelter means our ancestors knew that God provides for everyone's need, but not for everyone's greed. So our culture was a need-based culture, not a greed-based culture, which nowadays it is happening. Capitalist culture. One person or 10% earn 100% of the things. They own 100% of the things. And 80 to 90% people are employees or more or less slaves or working pseudo slaves. So they wanted that everyone should get needs fulfilled, and little bit of greed means, so that everyone has a small amount of gold and all that other things which are not required for survival. Gold, silver, ornaments, cars. So we have these words: needs, luxuries and wants. Luxuries are not required for survival, right? So they decided that everyone can't live for 100 years, it's not possible. Then how should we take care of our society so that our future generations and everyone is happy, everyone has everything, more or less? This is not possible, but still basic needs, and need wise everyone should have everything. You may not have a big car but a small car, you may not have a big palace but a small house, you may not have very costly linen but simple clothes, normal food. So our culture, Vedic culture, believed that society, their peace is important, peace. Unnecessary killer instinct should not be there, and everyone should remain within a set parameter so that everyone is happy. So how they divided this? So this brahmacharya ashram, grihastha ashram, Vana Prasthasaram, sanyas ashram, these 4 ashrams, they divided not these 4 things. They did not assume that we are living for 100 years. They roughly assume, roughly I am saying because there are specific details, but I will not go into that. Whatever is given in our Upanishads or Puran, we have got Puranas, Vishnu Puran is there, Mahesh Puran is there. There are different types of Puranas. Where in Vishnu Puran, Vishnu is main god. In Shiva Puran, Shiva is main god. Of course, I will go for that in some other lectures, because this is not a lecture of Puranas or Vedas or Upanishads. You can refer Google. Best, our Guru, modern Guru. Our modern Guru, our modern friend, philosopher, guide is Google. Acharya Google, Pracharya Google, means teacher Google, professor Google or doctor Google, right? So there you can learn many things. So they decided roughly to divide these 4 ashrams into a 50-year lifespan, so that everyone can do everything when he is healthy. Because roughly we can assume, see, for 50 years we can live without any major problems, luckily. I know there are some people who can die early, they can suffer with major diseases, serious diseases at young age also, die young because of heart attack, accidents. See, I will not discuss here about exceptional things, right? I will not discuss about exceptional things. We will speak about routine and normal life, assuming that routine and normal life is okay, running fine. So 50 years they wanted to divide so that everyone can start early and end early when they are healthy, retire healthy, wealthy and wise. Of course, we give a blessing of long life, healthy, wealthy and wise long life. But roughly up to 50 years we are more or less healthy in the real sense. And that is correct. So they roughly divided, instead of 25 years for each phase, they give 10 to 15 years. It varies from different texts in different Upanishads, Purans. Variable age is 10 to 15 years. So I will take, instead of 100, total life 50 and divide by 4. So roughly each phase will be 12.5 years. So first 12.5 years you will learn, next 12.5 years you will earn, feeding, breeding will be done. Another next 12.5 years you will train handover, and then next 12.5 years you will go for sannyas ashram. So here, now see, our ancient gurus were very intelligent. Even today, retirement age is 60 or 70, roughly. They, at that time, excuse me, at that time, ancient times, 5 to 10,000 years before. So roughly Ramayana was 7000 BC, Mahabharata was 3000 BC. That period I am trying to connect with Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, because there is evidence for this period. So 7000 years from today, they decided 50 is the best age to retire. See, even nowadays we can see that voluntary retirement schemes are always introduced in very major big companies where problems are there. They want to cut down their overheads or cost to company. Instead of 60, they will ask. Usually they force. It is not a voluntary retirement scheme. It is a compulsory forced retirement scheme. At the age of 50, they will give them an exit package, right? They are forced because they want to run their company. They want workforce also, but they don't want overheads also. So this causes a lot of problems in today's life, today's culture, right? But they were aware, our ancient gurus, ancient masters. So roughly they wanted people to retire healthy, wealthy and wise at the age of 50. So that remaining life he can do whatever he want. He can hand over, he can train, he can retire, he can go for spiritual pilgrimage. Sannyas ashram is pilgrimage time. And they associated all these because a calendar is required for everything. We have to follow a calendar. So, how or which calendar we have to follow? So they assume the Jupiter planet rotates around the sun for 12 earth years. So 1 year of Jupiter, one revolution of Jupiter around the sun takes 12 earth years. So Jupiter's, our 1 year is 365 days. Jupiter's 1 year is 12 years, our 12 years. Some text took Saturn's revolution. Saturn takes 30 years, 30 earth years to complete one revolution around the sun. So in 30 years, one revolution of Saturn, 60 years, second revolution of Saturn, and 90 years, third revolution of Saturn, age-wise, our age-wise. Jupiter is multiple of 12. 12 years, one revolution, 24 years, second revolution, 36 years, third revolution, like that, multiple of 12. And this 12 years phase was called or is called as Tapasarya. Tapasarya means, there is a saying in our culture, if you want to learn anything, you have to do tapa. Tapa means Tapasarya. Means you have to learn that thing from the basics, from undergraduate, graduate to postgraduate to doctorate. Total 12 years phase. Tapasarya means 12 years phase. So in this 12 years phase, you are performing, you are learning. To learn anything, at least 12 years is required. To master anything, at least 12 years is required. And that is true. See, in our culture also, in ancient and now in these modern times, roughly we have 10 to 15 years of schooling. primary school, secondary school, 10 to 15 years. So average is 12 years. Then you go for undergraduate courses, graduate courses, postgraduate courses, then doctorates, postdoctorates. So there is no end for that. But basically 10 to 15 years are required for basic foundation education. So primary school, secondary school are important. Primary undergraduation, secondary undergraduation. Then post-graduation also, pre-post-graduation, post-post-graduation, doctorates, pre-doctorate, post-doctorate. We have got postdoctoral research also. Doctors also do double doctorate, triple doctorates. Research continues. So they divided this phase into 12 years because of the Jupiter's revolution. So roughly these 4 phases, 12 4s are 48, is over by the time you are 50, and you can completely go after 50. You can go for a pilgrimage. Now you are no longer needed because you have trained your children, your society, and handed over properly, right? So this same cycle of brahmacharya ashram, grihastha ashram, Vana, prastha ashram and sanyas ashram is connected by, it is called as the 4 purushartha. Means what a adult male, because it was a male dominant society, women were secondary, they were housewives or like that, they were not actively involved in earning anything. Their main role at that time was breeding and rearing children, which is a very big task. It is not an ordinary task to rear children, to raise children, to become a mother in the real sense. So that 4 purushartha was called as dharma, artha, kam and moksha. Dharma means religion is one of the parts, yes, because like we have constitution of our country, we have laws in our country, we have law enforcement agencies, police force, we have got courts, judges, lawyers, we make laws, we implement laws, we enforce laws. Law breaking is not allowed, you are punished. So mistakes are mistakes, crime is crime and sin is sin. So if you are committing mistake 3 times repeatedly, it is a crime. If you are committing the same crime 3 times repeatedly, you are a sinner. And if you are committing the sin again 3 times repeatedly, you are a demon. So mistakes, crimes and sins have different levels of punishments, right? So dharma means constitution, whatever constitution you are supposed to follow. It is to make us good human beings, any religion. There is no exception. All religions want human beings to be good Samaritans, right? So all religions usually more or less have 10 commandments, more or less, and they are more or less similar. If you read honestly and see and check, no religion will, mistakes are allowed, but crime and sin, no religion will allow. That is good. So dharma phase is the learning phase also. Whatever we are learning is called as the dharmic phase or the dharma phase. Your education, you are trained in how to live in society, how to live as an individual, how to live as a family, how to live with your family, friends, relatives, clients, subordinates, society, seniors, juniors. There are protocols we have to follow. And this is not to degrade anyone or discriminate against anyone. This is for discipline. In every company, in every house, in every political setup, in Army, Navy, Air Force, there is a hierarchy from the lowest person to the owner of the company. In between there are 10-20 ladders or 10-20 stairs. And this is not for discrimination, this is for discipline. Everyone has a pay package, different pay package, different benefits, different roles in that company, in that society, in that house. So this way how to behave in that company, the protocols which we follow in our family life, social life, public life, private life, and see to it that we are not committing any crime or sin, is dharma. Artha means earning, artha means economy. Earning phase is usually the breeding phase also, because unless and until you earn money, you cannot get married, you cannot purchase a house, car, food, clothing, shelter, etc. You cannot feed your children, you cannot breed. So this artha phase, dharma phase, is connected with the grihastha not. Grihastha phase is the artha phase. Dharma phase is connected with the brahmacharya ashram, learning phase. Your feeding and breeding phase, that is the artha phase, economy, when you are the breadwinner, that is the grihastha phase. And even the kam means kamana. Kamana means your desires, your ambitions, whatever you want to become, you want to earn. Maybe, as I said, you want a big car, big house, you want to live, you want to have different amenities, you want a costly phone, costly TV, means everything, luxuries, needs, greeds, that is kamana. Kamana means ichha. Sky is the limit. You can have a small car also, you can have a big car also, depending upon your financial condition. So this artha and kam phase, kamana phase, artha and kam, is basically the feeding and breeding phase, when we are a breadwinner, when we are fulfilling our ambitions also and rearing our children also. So the kam in the Kama Sutra is different, which is also a world famous book of Professor Vatsayan and Kalyanmal. They are rishis. Maybe they were sexologists of their time, right? So that kamna is different. It is sex for enjoyment and not for breeding or rearing children. That is a different topic, but that is also a book which we are proud of. We have that book also. So kamana means everything which comes in married life, in family life, whatever desires you have. But then our books also say that you get what you deserve and not what we desire. Desires are unlimited. Everyone wants everything, but no one gets that. Even the richest person in the world lacks something. Rest assured, believe me. Don't think money can buy everything. That is not true. Things which money can buy or which only money can buy are important for our survival, like food, clothing, shelter, medicines. They are important for our survival, education. But things which money can't buy, like love, loyalty, things which money can't buy, are basically not required for our survival, like ethical things, moral things. See, we know there are many criminals who are living bad lives. Sinners, we know who are sinners, who are criminals. Mistakes are different. Crime is different. Sin is altogether different. So, crime and punishment, sin and punishment is a altogether different sin. And all religions have their own protocols for handling all these wrong things also. Right? So, dharma phase is the brahmacharya ashram, earth and calm phase is the grihastha ashram. Earth and calm. You are fulfilling your own desires also, and you are helping the society also. Maybe you are donating to the religious body, orphanage, old age homes. You are a donor now. That is earth and calm phase. You are feeling good by giving. Then the last phase is the moksha. Moksha means the sanyas ashram phase. What is moksha? When you no longer have desires, you are physically and mentally content. Now you have your grandchildren, grandsons, you have a sufficient bank balance. Now you are not worried about your survival. Your children are settled. Your family, friend and relatives are more or less settled. Right? And now you are retired also, because you are physically also old now. Because nowadays we retire after 60. Usually on an average. And some problems are there, maybe diabetes, maybe heart attack. Some people have serious problems also. And old age is always there. Old age is not illness. You become old. Some people become old very fast. Some people age slowly. But old age and death is a reality. So for spiritually inclined persons and believers who believe in God, who believe in spiritual things, who believe in religious things, now they want to think about the things which usually we don't think when we are young, when we are learning, when we have a family to run, when we are breeding, feeding and breeding. So in old age, when we have more or less nothing to do and we are playing with our grandchildren, we start thinking why we were born in the first place here. Then did we fulfill or do our duties correctly? So when you are satisfied with your life, you have lived it properly, correctly. I mean, mistakes you may have made, but no crime, no sin. So we are now ready to die, because now no more desires. Right? We got married, we went on honeymoon. Honeymoon lasted for a very long time. Byproduct was our children. Then we reared our children, we sponsored them, we more or less got them married. Then they went on honeymoon, they produced children, and now we are happy, because the cycle is complete. Right? So when we see our children's children, our complete cycle of life, more or less, brahmacharya ashram, grihastha ashram, Vana, Prasthasaram and sanyas ashram, or dharma, artha, kam and moksha. Simple. These 4 ashrams and this dharma, artha, kam and moksha are connected. They are exchangeable, interchangeable. They are interdependent and independent at the same time. And this, our ancient Vedic scholars, like, they compressed it in 50 years, because they knew everyone will not survive for 100 years. So in 50 years everyone will get a chance. So there is no rebellion. Nowadays we can see in politics, at the top level, senior citizens are ruling. They are presidents, prime ministers or ministers, president's men or prime minister's men. They are senior citizens, 60-year-old, 70-year-old, 80-year-old, and they continue ruling. What happens because of this? Because of these senior citizens who are not able to let go of power and money. Young people who want to become something, maybe there is a young person who wants to become a prime minister, who wants to become a minister, who wants to become a president, or he has maybe political ambitions in politics. or in a company he has ambitions to become, say, a director or president or vice president or whatever. If the upper people who are at the top ladder, if they are not retiring early, we have seen this happening in various transnational companies, religious bodies also, in big trusts, in politics, local politics and national politics, international politics. When senior citizens, I will use the word senior citizens because 60, 70, 80, they are senior citizens only, are because of greed or whatever reason, they are not willing to give or retire in the real sense. That leads to rebellion. Young people will rebel against this old guard. We have this word, young Turk and old guard. We are seeing this worldwide. Why this is happening? Because nowadays we are not following the ancient culture of retiring early and letting the young people also enjoy at the right age. So why this political turmoil is there? Why this stress is there? Why this strain is there? Because the senior citizens or senior persons in family, friend, relatives, social life, public life, political life, religious life, trust, temples and other religious bodies also worldwide, they are not willing to give away power. And as it is said, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And usually they will recruit their family, friends and relatives as hires, nominees. So a ordinary person who is working hard, who is educated, he may be working for the party, he may be working for the country, for the house. This hardworking person is not getting a chance to prove himself, because this old guard is not willing to give up power in different phases, which our culture always believed that we should retire early and we should hand over our power when our children or our heirs are young, and we should wait back in the wings and let them rule. We should use our experience and guide them. We should become their friend, philosopher and guide, so that they can perform this brahmacharya ashram, grihastha, Vana, Prasthasaram, sanyas ashram, and this dharma, artha and kam, moksha, everyone has a right to enjoy. So when everyone retires properly at the right age or early age, the lower guard or young Turks get a chance, they are promoted. For promotion, there has to be a vacancy. If top seats are not vacated, then young persons who are capable or middle-aged persons who are capable, then they will revolt against the old guard. Right? In English there is a saying, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. So it is difficult for old persons because they have a fixed mindset. There may be flexible peoples, but if you don't change, if senior persons at all levels, in different institutes like hospitals, colleges, schools, if they don't hand over power to the younger generation, then unnecessary there is rebellion, assassination, plots to overthrow the old guard. Then this enemy's enemy is my friend. Then these young people will join hands with enemy to overthrow the old guard. Rebellion takes place. We have seen this in ancient times on ships, on pirate ships or in normal ships also. Sailors used to rebel against the captain, because if you don't implement new things and new policies, the new generation is bound to get upset. And then this generation gap, technically, leads to clashes. These clashes can be within the family, within the society, within family, friend, relatives, old guard and the new guard, social struggles, in political struggles, religious struggles. Everything has to be upgraded and updated. So our gurus, ancient gurus, on this occasion of Guru Purnima, I am trying to share this knowledge in a very general way so that it doesn't become too heavy. See, our culture believed, our culture means Indian culture or Hindustani culture or Bharatiya culture or Vedic culture, ancient culture, which is around 5 to 10,000 years old, believed that time and tide waits for no one. Right? Time and tide waits for no one. So what is the summary of this Guru Purnima? Ancient knowledge with respect to all religious texts, more or less, is nothing is permanent. Everyone knows this. Nothing is permanent. Only thing permanent is change. Right? And only thing changing is speed. Initially we used to walk, then trains came, now planes are there, now spaceships are there. So nothing is permanent. Only thing permanent is change. Only thing changing is speed. There were bullock carts 100 years back. Now we have got planes, fighter planes, spacecrafts. So speed has changed, but we are the same. We roughly live for 100 years, assuming. You don't live for 100 years. Okay. This is just an assumption, like theoretical physics. They assume so many things. I call it as Alice in Wonderland with Don Quixote. That you can see in my other lectures. Right? So only thing changing is speed, from bullock carts to spacecraft. Right? Only thing speeding is time. See, time speeds. Time is not a constant. On different planets, different times will be there, because their days and hours and years are different. And at whatever speed you travel in train or plane, your body clock remains constant. If you are going to live for 100 years, you will live for 100 years. Doesn't matter if you travel fast, you will reach earlier, but that has got nothing to do with your longevity. How fast you travel doesn't mean you can live for 200 years. Whether you travel slowly or fastly, your body clock is constant. And even our time, which is second, minutes and hours, is constant. When we have got good time, it flies. When we have bad time, it goes slowly. So when we are with a bad boss, these 8 hours can seem like 80 hours. And when we are with our girlfriend or our wife, or mostly with other person's wife, this is immoral as a joke. Time flies by. Right? So only thing speeding is time. So our culture, our gurus knew. People say, let us do some time pass. You cannot do time pass. If you pass time, time passes you. If you kill time, time kills you. Remember, time and tide wait for no one. So roughly, assuming older ancient knowledge and today's latest knowledge, as I said, we are assuming we live for 100 years, but we don't live for 100 years, right? First 25 years is learning phase, last 25 years we are old, right? Second 25 years we are feeding and breeding, and another 25 years we are sleeping, we may fall ill, do little bit of time pass. right? So assuming that first 25 years you are learning, last 25 years you are very old, 75 to 100, and 25 years of feeding and breeding time, and 25 years of sleeping and illness. So assuming 100 years, we have only 25 years in our hands to do whatever we want to do. But do we really live for 100 years? No. So if you apply the old rules of dharma, artha and kam, moksha, and assuming that you are living for 50 years only, which is correct, because up to 50 years you can live a healthy, wealthy and wise life, more or less, if you are lucky. If bad luck is there, then you may fall ill, you may have big problems, physical problems, mental problems, you may have handicap or whatever. That is a different story. It becomes a very difficult life and it is a survival fight. You are struggling in that. So concluding, if you are not what you want to become, whatever you want to become, maybe doctor, engineer, actor, fighter, boxer, dancer, singer, whatever career, anything, chef, swimmer, if you have not achieved it, proper knowledge, proper learning, proper guidance, friend, philosopher and guide, before 30, because see, we are not living for 100 years ideally. I am assuming 50 years only. So to say before 30 is also too late. So if you are not what you are before 30, rest assured, your game is over. Usually, let us not talk of exception. Exceptions will always be there. Exceptions are not rules. So our culture says, if you take your life casually, you will end up in a casualty. So take care.